Hey guys, got a message from Camzul, Kam ZAMUA. I think it's from Japan, I do believe. Talked about Game Pass Ultimate becoming $29.99. I backtracked to figure out if it's true or not. It was true. Starting October 1st, today. Game Pass Ultimate is now $29.99 a month. $30 a month. The reason why they're stating because the cost of games, the games library, the online cloud stuff, the crap they talked about, it wouldn't be a problem making games for. They talked about Microsoft sold Game Pass Ultimate on the ease of not having to worry about going to the store and buying a game. And Game Pass Ultimate was sold to us, by a cheap way of saving money. By you pay, $10 a month. Granted, before PC came into the picture, and it could be because PC too as well. So I'm gonna do more research tonight, and I'll make a live stream tonight about it. But it has to be said now. Game Pass Ultimate was sold to us as being a cheap, affordable way to play games. If you're a wrestling fan like I am, and I'm not paying to spend $30 a month to watch wrestling pay-per-views, but if you were, you're spending $60 right now on two things you like to have: the wrestling PLEs and Game Pass Ultimate. Now, is it easier to get rid of a Game Pass Ultimate? The hell with it, don't worry about it. It is. It's easier to buy the games on Steam. Probably would be. But there is still a small, thin sliver of a way around that, where you're getting the games for practically nothing for $30 a month. Okay, you're getting a lot of these games for $30 a month. Okay, I'm gonna play devil's advocate here. A lot of you understand, or a few of you will not. Or a few of you understand, a lot of you will not. You're getting $30, paying $30 a month to get F ton of games. Day one, mostly all day one. You still gotta pay for games like Helldivers 2 and games of that nature, obviously. Because they're PlayStation properties, or they're not owned by Sony. And they're not owned by Microsoft. How does this affect EA Play? Could EA Play a role into this? No pun intended. Because of their acquisition to a third party now, to a private company. Could this be part of that plan to sweeten the deal to keep EA Play on Game Pass Ultimate? Because you gotta understand, Ubisoft was approached by companies too to go private too. Not the same firm that bought out EA, but nonetheless firms to buy out these companies. These non-gaming entities are buying these gaming companies. Funny how two of the companies I'm mentioning, one of them, Microsoft, is not a game company. It just got into game companies right around 2001, 2002. So it's still pretty much, a small teenager compared to the likes of Nintendo or even Sony for that matter. But could this be the reason why it went so fast? Because of the EA acquisition? Could have been. Now, would this mean that you won't see Battlefield 2042 or Battlefield 6 on Game Pass Ultimate? You might see it on there, I'm sure. Still no ifs, ands, buts about that. I don't think EA is going to put their flagship game on Game Pass that fast. 2042 got on Game Pass quickly because the 2042 was pretty much dead in the water, and they needed to scrape anybody on there they can. Scrape anybody on that game they can. So they went ahead and just, did that. And that was what they did. That's what Microsoft, what EA did with their flagship game 2042, is put it on Game Pass Ultimate and also a PlayStation Plus. to scrape some people to come play the damn game. Because the game wasn't selling anymore on Steam, let's be honest with ourselves. It probably sold a little better now because of Battlefield 6, but it's still not 100% what it should have been. And we'll find out. Battlefield 6, I'll pre-order the $100 edition here eventually, and by that Sunday I'll be playing it because I work on Friday and I'm not going to take off Friday to play a game. But that being said, though, is there any reason to believe or not to believe that this EA acquisition did not force Microsoft's hand into raising up Game Pass Ultimate? I think it could have been a little bit of everything. With the advent of all the games coming out costing more money, EA going private with a private firm behind them, so Saudi Arabia. A lot of companies like Ubisoft thinking about doing the same thing themselves too. Hell, Ubisoft thought about selling to Microsoft at one time, because Ubisoft had a lot of bad issues with Assassin's Creed games not making the mark. A lot of things are bubbling about how they might sell out somebody. So a lot of people asking questions about this. Now you have EA going towards being acquisition by a private company and being private when they don't have stockholders anymore. They have a firm telling them what to do, and hopefully this releases the freak flag where they can go out there and create the game they used to create before all the bells and whistles of corporate greed got in the way. And it could be, I don't know for sure how far that flag will wave, but how far it will fly, how far it will wave. But there's hope there. I still hope that this company will not charge $100 per game, will not force us a nickel and dime everything, will leave gamers alone, give gamers respect, and hopefully Game Pass Ultimate will actually put games on there that actually mean something, instead of just absolutely nothing, and putting on shovelware. Crackdown 3 was a fun game, but it wasn't no Game of the Year material to be on Game Pass Ultimate. Granted, it wasn't. It was good to play, and it was a fun game. I enjoyed it, but I had my time with it, and I got done with it, and I moved on. Far Cry series, great series to be on Game Pass Ultimate. I know it's Ubisoft titles. Obviously, the best ones I played was 4 and 5. I played 6. That's good. And those games were on Game Pass Ultimate, also on Steam too as well. And also also on Ubisoft Play and on Ubisoft app. So, and I read why they did it on Google. They're citing more expensive cloud gaming and games in general being more expensive. I'm like, well, that's a given, okay? That's a true given. You knew these games were going to cost money. No one forced you to buy these games, to play these games or to make these games with gigantic, expensive costs. You knew what you're getting into, EA or Microsoft. You knew what you're getting into. You knew the games are going to cost money. You knew they're going to be below the budget. You knew all this stuff, and yet you guys still are dumbfounded that games are going to cost $100 million easy base, and not including or including voice actors and the animatronics and not animatronics, but the gaming aspect of it all. License agreements, deals for maybe potential movies, covers of cereal boxes. A lot of advertising has to go out there, so advertising is about 50% of the cost anyway. most of these games, or up to. Um, there's like movies and wrestling and sports in general. Um, so I think it's just a little more on their end. They need to stop blaming the online crap because online distribution was supposed to solve a problem with prices of the game going up. What we were told back 10 years ago was if we go buy a game digitally, it'll be cheaper in the long run. Well, it's been 10 years. And games are getting more expensive every year, it seems like. So it's kind of a butt kiss situation. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Comment down below. How do you feel about this Game Pass Ultimate $29.99, or do you believe that EA Play's acquisition has something to do with it? Comment down below. See you later. Peace out.